Nothing's too thick for the whippy stick. Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown. Today we've got the Old World releases. I'm Josh, that's Mitchell. And this is a whippy stick.
Yes, it is.
So, Old World's finally here. Slightly delayed.
Slightly.
Now, this is one of those broken clock being right twice a day things where this is not actually Games Workshop's fault.
Finally.
If you're not familiar, the Games Workshop warehouse in the United States is located in Memphis, Tennessee, who was under 8 inches of snow and sub-zero temperatures for 4 days, which when you're in the middle of Tennessee is not something you're equipped with.
Yeah.
So this is not actually their fault. Now, the fact that they have this insane release schedule where every single week has something new and exciting that they have to desperately get out, and so that one weather event causes a cataclysmic chain, that is their fault. But, it brings us cool stuff like this.
That's true.
So, you're not getting into the Old World and you have no familiarity or love for it in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Well, a great episode. Thanks for watching. No. My familiarity with the Old World comes from the video game Total War Warhammer, or 2 or 3. So I have played as the Bretonnians quite a bit, and as the Tomb Kings quite a bit, but only digitally, and never on tabletop. And I have to say that I don't think I'm going to start, but only because this game is not for me.
Right.
And the price of entry is very high.
Very high.
So speaking of high, it's $255 high and $290 high. Yeah, it's a lot of money. But what do you get? So let's start with the good old Kingdom of Bretonnia, aka Knights of the Round Table, but French-er. Although technically they were French the first time in Le Morte d'Arthur. Anyway, French-er and also Grimdark. You get a total of 76 miniatures. One Lord of Bretonnia on Royal Pegasus. That's the new one. The great looking model. Fantastic looking model. I really like that. I know this was never in the cards. If there had been a whole range resculpt of New Bretonnia for Old World, I would be I would have been much more tempted.
Yeah.
Because old cavalry looks really bad.
Oh, God.
Especially when they're dead, which we'll get to. But yeah, it's just because that Pegasus Knight or the other, the banner carrier guy,
Fantastic.
It looks fantastic. But then you get to the 12 Bretonnian Knights of the Realm, which are an older kit, less so. 36 Bretonnian men-at-arms, much less so. 24 Peasant Bowmen, much less so. 3 Pegasus Knights who really don't hold up well at all.
No, they don't.
You also get the full rulebook to Whippy Sticks. A set of templates, which is exactly the same as a set of templates that comes in a box from Necromunda. And I mean literally the same, like you take one out of the other. And a bunch of transfer sheets. And 36 dice? 21, 6-sided dice, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal for as many minis as you are getting in here. They definitely went horde mode.
They did.
And probably intentionally, they picked 2 factions that you can have this combination of horde mode, but with still cool big centerpiece models. That's how they play in the video game. You have this front line of peasants who are there to die slowly, so your knights can go wee.
Yeah.
And for Khemri, you have a bunch of skeletons who are there to die again, slowly again, so your constructs can go wee. But it's just for $255. It's a lot.
It is a lot, and if you compare this to something like the
Launchbox for the Horus Heresy.
Launchbox for the Horus Heresy or Leviathan, and those having 2 different factions in them and less models, it still feels like because it was all new sculpts, it was worth it. Whereas you look at these and it's 1 or maybe 2 new sculpts for the same price or more, and it seems not very worth it, even with a full rulebook in here.
And I understand that when they sell these plastic Bretonnian men-at-arms, they're going to charge me $60 for 36 of them.
They're not worth that.
They're not worth that.
No.
Like, they're just so old. I can put my nose through the sprue, and that's not saying nothing. My nose is large. And these whippy sticks are the worst measuring implement I've ever seen, and I've played Kill Team.
That is true. Kill Team's got it bad. Onto the Khemri. In this one, we have quite a few models. 93 models. The first and coolest of which being the Lich Priest on Necrolith Bone Dragon, who looks amazing. I love this kit.
The one model in this spread that is not in Total War Warhammer.
Yes.
Yet.
One Tomb King, which honestly, I'm not sure if that's a new one. The Tomb King's got a slight range refresh right before the Age of Sigmar took over, so that one might be a new one or an older kit. Then, oh boy, start showing the age. 40 Skeleton Warriors, very similar, that the sprues are huge and nothing on them. 32 Skeleton Archers, which are basically the same. 16 Skeleton Horsemen, and they're thick horses.
Yeah, the bone horses look so bad.
And 3 Skeleton Chariots with a very similar problem.
Yeah. If you look at just on the back of this box, and we'll show you a picture here, the comparison between Mr. Tomb King and Mr. Skeleton War, it's
real.
It's you versus the guy she told you not to worry about.
It's the Tomb King and the Tomb King at home.
It's the version of Skeleton Warrior versus the Giga Chad Tomb King. It's
not even close.
It's so bad. Like, they're just so
And they
bad.
expect you to put them both on the table at the same time.
It's a problem you often find in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Like, so example, playing Cities of Sigmar before their recent range refresh.
Yep.
A free guild gunner next to something like a free guild general on Griffin. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And this is going to have the same problem magnified times 1,000.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, some would say that these old models have charm. And some of them do.
Yes.
The skeleton horses do not have charm.
The skeleton horses do not have charm.
I would say that Bretonnian humans are goofy enough, they have charm.
As someone who dislikes how Bretonnians look, I agree with you.
Yeah.
They have some amount of, like, oh, I can see where this is coming from.
Like, that guy is a Friar Tuck joke. You can't say he's not.
Right.
And it's funny. So they can be a little goofy. That skeleton is not meant to be goofy. That skeleton is meant to be the imposing, glittering undead legions of Khemri.
That was a sincere attempt at a skeleton horse. And you know what?
You know, you can just look at a skeleton in real life of a horse. Like, you can find these in museums and in textbooks.
I don't know about that.
They don't have legs that go up to...
No, I think back in 1998 or whenever that was sculpted, there was no such thing as horse skeletons. There was just horses.
None of the horses had died yet.
Yeah, no horses have died yet.
All right. What else we got on this release?
All right. Start with the most boring.
The most boring, but also the most necessary?
Yeah.
Because these are movement trays. Now, technically, you don't need movement trays.
Correct.
You can just have them all in a square and, like, place them up against each other. Good God, do you want to use movement trays in any kind of rank and flank game like this?
Yeah. Turn 1 will take an hour and a half if you don't.
As a guard player, like, I want movement trays, and those aren't even in that game.
Yeah.
These are modular. You said these are not actually a new product. I thought they were.
No, they had come out before, but they were, I believe they were only one of each, so it was like one tray and then 2 of the sides, I guess is how I would say, from what I looked up. But neither of us were playing back then, so.
Right.
But yeah, these are, you cut them yourself, you can make them whatever size. I like that they have the grids on them already, so you don't have to, measure it, but, not a new thing, but definitely very helpful.
Now, the thing is, though, I'm sure that these will be made to work with the new base sizes.
Yes.
Because remember, the square bases are slightly different this time. What
Yeah.
was a 20 millimeter square base is now a 25 millimeter square base.
Right.
So
they,
even
they upscaled things a bit, and it should be fine with these.
which, God, they needed to.
Oh, God, yeah. 20 mils are way too small.
Yeah. For this release, we do have 2 separate boxes. Everything else is coming later. They've hinted at lots of things coming later. They've hinted at trebuchets getting re-released.
Saw that.
They've hinted at some things that were metal or resin getting re-released in plastic using the same molds, which is fascinating. I'm excited to see where that goes. We don't have any of that yet.
Right.
Right now, we've got a battle standard bearer on Royal Pegasus.
Which is, I looked, the same Pegasus, different guy.
Yeah, so this is not a dual kit.
Nope.
You don't get to build the new guy in the box. You can only still get that guy in that box. But the same horse is in this kit.
Yeah.
The same horse sprue, just has a different guy on top.
Why would you do that?
Why would you? Yeah. And then you have the Pegasus Knights, who really don't hold up well.
No.
Again, it's
They're better than the guys in the skeletons?
They're better than the skeletons, but if you defleshed these horses, I have a feeling their skeletons would look just that bad.
Kill me!
Yeah, pretty much. I do like the guy with the little noodle dragon helmet, though.
The noodle dragon is the best part about it.
Yes, I want that just for that. These are fine, though. I will
They're
say these
fine.
are okay. These have, again, that... I was about to say that old world charm, but I don't mean that in the literal charm of the old world. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
These have that old style charm to them in a way that the skeleton horses don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of, let's talk about some other old world charm. One of these I think holds up really well.
Yeah.
The other one I think really doesn't.
Yeah.
So you've got your Tomb Guard. Your Tomb Guard are kind of your elite skeleton infantry.
Yeah.
Like they're more heavily armored. In Total War Warhammer, they're your top tier infantry. They're there to hold the line and not die at all. I will say these are a lot better than the Skeleton Warriors.
Oh, by a long shot.
A lot better. The skeleton skulls don't look comically bad.
It's similar to in not Vampire Counts, 'cause that's where they are now. Similar to the Legions of Nagash, where it's the skeletons being the regular skeletons, I guess, and then these being the Sepulchral Guard. The regular skeletons have gotten an upgrade, but before that, oh boy, it was a difference. And it's very similar, except they haven't gotten an upgrade for the baby skeletons.
Nope.
So they all look meh.
On the flip side of the things, though, you've got the Necropolis Knights and also the Sepulchral Stalkers, a word I can never say. These are fantastic.
Yes. These were a late addition to Age of Sigmar. Nope, pre-Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy Battles. And they look great.
You have either guys surfing on snake constructs or snake constructs with ranged halberd guns things. So cool. This is what people remember when they remember Tomb Kings fondly.
Yep.
More than this, it was the cool constructs. I mean, some people really dig this, just the skeletons, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's the thing that made them really stick out on the table was these awesome kind of interpretations of what if the things the Egyptians sculpted came to life and fall alongside you.
What were the other ones called? The ones that came out in metal?
Ushapti.
Ushapti. Those are also very cool. I wish they had gotten a resculpt because
Yes.
those would look amazing with a new sculpt.
I wish they had gotten a resculpt, and I wish they were not $80 for 3 of them.
Yeah. Speaking of, this is $80. Too much.
For 20 of them?
It's
Yeah, it's 20 of them.
it's 20.
And that's Horus Heresy pricing.
It is. It's sad.
It's still too much for a 2003 plastic kit. Like, you're taking the,
I agree. They're too expensive and not cool enough. These guys,
cooler, but too expensive.
still too expensive.
Now, let's talk about really cool. You have the Necrosphinx / the Tomb King War Sphinx. Necrosphinx is kind of like a... How would you describe that? Centaur Sphinx guy?
Centaur Sphinx.
Centaur Sphinx Scorpion with big blade arms? Whereas the War Sphinx is Giant Kitty
Yep.
with a howdah on its back.
Kitty skeleton.
And I want Giant Kitty skeleton.
It's very cool.
In Total War Warhammer, take a drink. The Necrosphinx is your anti-large unit, and your War Sphinx just stomps on infantry. Squish. And it actually has cat animations for them. It's very
Really?
it's adorable.
That's great.
And terrifying.
I've also seen this used a lot for conversions because, again, it's a very late addition to the old world.
This was one of those models that before this re-release, you could expect to pay multiple hundreds of dollars for on eBay because it was so in demand.
Yep.
Because it is an amazing model.
Yep.
And that Tomb King holds it pretty well, too.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
His face is a little...
I'll get you next time, He-Man.
He-Man!
Yeah, he does a better Skeletor than me.
No, because Skeletor is just a skull. He's actually got, like, flesh.
That's true. But yeah,
Skeletor's cousin, Fleshator.
another fantastic kit. Glad they brought it back.
This one's only $80.
Yeah.
It's really difficult when you put... Like, I realize that you get more minis with this.
But I want one really cool mini.
One of these feels more worth it
Yeah.
than the other.
Strange.
So that's all that's coming out for this release of the Old World.
Correct.
There's been some made-to-order stuff. We taled about that in our
On our
Sunday
Sunday
preview.
rundown.
The very angry duck knight guy.
Yeah.
We'll see what else they come up with. Going forward is where the future is determined, which I realize is a tautological, stupid statement. But is this like Horus Heresy, where they're going to kind of keep doing these little splash releases of like, hey, here's a helmet kit?
That'd be my guess. Probably not to the same extent of the little tiny kits, but I could see them coming out with, hey, because they've already previewed orcs.
Yeah.
They go, hey, here's the orc box, or hey, here's the. I can't think of anything from Old World, so.
I can think of lots and lots of things.
Yeah.
They already put out the list of things that will not be getting anything
Which is disappointing to see.
because Skaven was on it, and that's incredibly disappointing to us.
Skaven, demons.
Chaos Dwarves being on there just feels like such
That
a
hurts.
I'm not even. I don't even like Chaos Dwarves, but that feels like such a lost opportunity.
So here's the thing: is the list of things that they're not putting in the Old World. Almost all of them are in Age of Sigmar, which makes sense because you can already get them in Age of Sigmar.
right,
Except the Shadow Elves and Chaos Dwarves.
right.
Those two aren't in either game.
No, Dark Elves are mostly still in Age of Sigmar.
Really?
Yeah, so like
Is it mostly in?
it's all the Cities of Sigmar
Daughters?
stuff.
Oh, Cities of Sigmar.
Well, yeah, Daughters Witch Elves were the main were Dark Elves.
At that point, just because Chaos Dwarves don't exist at all.
No, Chaos Dwarves. Well, they do. They'll probably be a faction in the future.
Well, so should Shadow Elves because
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
That's yeah.
Embreth.
Umbreneth did not exist at all in Old World. It was
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Dark Elves in Old World were more like Marathi's elves now.
Yeah. It just feels weird that they would go, here's all these Age of Sigmar things, and then also Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah, Chaos Dwarves just feels like such a lost opportunity because I cannot tell you how many people seemed so hyped for the Old World because of that.
Yeah.
Then again, it seems Old World has changed track a lot
Yeah.
since it was initially released. Because originally they were previewing, pictures of Kislev and Cathay.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you're
Stuff
right.
that had never existed. Stuff that was only mentioned in White Dwarf articles that we were all salivating over. And then that's just kind of like, no, you get Bretonnians. Which, if you're a Bretonnian player, I'm happy for you.
That's true.
Personally,
Yeah, I agree. Nothing's really standing out to me, even in all the releases that I really, really want to play. So,
But, unlike usual for our new release videos, usually we say this is up for pre-order. Now, this was up for pre-order a while ago.
Yeah.
It's probably all gone.
yeah, get it if you can.
But, your local gaming store might, asterisk, be getting this soon. So if you did have an eye on this, check.
Yeah.
Maybe they have some left over. We'll keep you updated as more releases for the New World come out, because even though I don't play this game, I have a vested interest in this universe, largely because of the video game. Like, I will probably go home and play a couple rounds of that tonight because it's made me nostalgic.
That's fair.
So I'm interested to see where it goes. And I hope this is not a one-time splash of, okay, bye.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope it's like Horus Heresy where they keep releasing things for it.
That would be cool. That's the direction I want them to go.
Even if we don't actually play it ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, hey, someone should have fun.
Agreed.
That's it for this week. Leave us a like and a comment down below if you're one of those people who is having fun with this. Let me know what you think of whippy sticks. I think they're the worst measuring implement ever devised, but a great way to hit your friends. Until next time. I wonder if that's picking up on camera.
Probably on the shotgun.
Anyway.